Hi everyone, this is Leonora. I just want to talk a little bit about world events at the moment. This is the 16th of March 2020, and we are very much having a collective chaotic experience. And I've been pondering about that and feeling in my own soul, in my own system, what's going on, integrating as I go. And I just want to share a little bit about my own process and my own feelings in regard to what's happening. And I want to say before I, share what I think, is like there are many, many different views, and I've certainly watched a certain number of videos, read a certain number of articles from, many people from many angles. And what is incredibly apparent to me is that what's always been apparent to me is that any view we have, this is from doing session work and from doing my own healing journey, that every view that I ever had is coming from a place of separation. And every view that I've ever had has a shadow as a result and is limited. And it is essentially untrue. So it's quite interesting to listen to these views and feel the seduction and the compulsion to believe all these things, even though many of them have, conflicting stories. What I see in all of them is that in reality, that we're in a unprecedented situation where there's enough light that the shadow is being illuminated. And the shadow is like every single view is going to destabilize because nobody really knows. So we've been living in the illusion of knowing for a while, where we think that, that what we know gives us stability and safety, and it doesn't. But we've been able to, hide from the truth in some way, or the truth has been kept hidden from us in another way, so we've been able to buy that seductive illusion of stability and believing certain views, and the collectively doing so. And it feels to me like there's enough light, there's enough consciousness right now that we can no longer keep doing that. And so every great transformation, every great transition from one paradigm to another requires us to let go. And there's an ensuing chaos when we stop believing what we believe and stop thinking what we think. And as we move through that chaos, a new way becomes revealed. So how long we stay in the chaos is somehow directly related to how much resistance we have to that chaos. And that resistance shows up as fear and panic. So it's very challenging times, because for those people who are not resourced, that their only way of being is to be reactive. And I feel incredible compassion for that journey, having, been on it myself for many years. And, also for the suffering in the endeavors to maintain health in such adversity with this situation, which is very, very unclear, whether we're looking at symptoms, or whether these symptoms come from 5G, whether they come from a virus, or that we can diagnose that there's the virus, or we can't diagnose that there's a virus, or, it's like for every view we have the opposite view, and which view you resonate with is depending upon who you think you are. But my invitation is to go beyond all views and to not know. Because really in the doorway of not knowing, many great things become possible. Many possibilities can be birthed. And this requires a surrender, and the surrender requires, a connection to a resource within us. So there's something within us, within all of us, which is fundamental and unchanging. There is a resource which is beyond time, which is eternal, which is inherently stable. Some people call it love. Some people call it truth. Some people call it the ground of being, the mystery. It has many names, but no names can describe it. But we can feel it and we can connect with it. And it's been my experience that through cultivating that as a resource, that as a place of connection, that I've been able to integrate pieces of me that are divided, pieces of me that were attached to what they knew, what they believed. And that my attachments to that knowledge and those beliefs were what created my own suffering. So I've had much time through my own suffering to prepare myself to be on this journey of discovery, to remember who I really am, and to let go of who I think I am, and to you really move back into the power and the possibility of what the full human experience is about. Now, not everybody is in that situation. I feel very strongly within my soul a call to support and help people. And, as my capacity is available to do so, I already am, and I will continue. But I want to encourage people, that resonate with my message, to really recognize that, we've been slowly, piece by piece, person by person, heart by heart, transforming this material for many years, and we've got somewhere. And as a result of that, it's destabilized the matrix that we've been living in. Yeah, it's like we can no longer buy this matrix. We can no longer invest in the power outside of us, for the most part. But many people who don't have resources are investing in an expert outside of them. This isn't to say that you shouldn't get help and support. There's a resonance in your system of what's right for you. And it's really important that you choose, that you take your sovereign power and make conscious choice, and and take responsibility for the consequences of your choice. And what choice you make is really personal, and it's really important that it is personal and that it is your choice, that it isn't influenced by others, but that you can feel the resonance to what's right for you. So my invitation here is to let yourself not know, and to realize that we don't have control. We never have had control over life. We are life. And it's time, through our vulnerability that we're being thrown into and propelled into, to find the courage that is beyond this vulnerability that we may be feeling. And even though we may have a social isolation or social distancing, that we can still meet with each other, maybe without shaking hands, or just doing namaste, or however you need to set it up for it to feel right for you, and to honor everybody's choice in that. Like, some people may be totally up for a hug, and some people might want 5 meters between you and them. Some people may need to wear a face mask. Some people want to wear gloves. Just to honor these choices, and just to allow, and to share from direct experience about how you're feeling. And to prepare yourself, like maybe you want to stock up on a bunch of vitamin C, or oregano oil, or whatever is your favorite remedy for having a cold or a virus. Yeah. So your system knows what resonates, and your system, you should trust your system. I want to also say, for me, I feel just as much shadow as I feel light here, that they're both here at the same time. And I don't know what's happening, but I just feel. And I have my own feeling about viruses and what they are about, So firstly, they're not living creatures. They're neither dead nor alive. The way that I've learned to think about them is that they're actually programs. And in my own experiences of transforming life forms in my system in the task of discovering who I am and who I'm not. That I've had to shed many life forms that have been living in me and through me, and I actually see them as identities. They are programs that have fear behind them and separation behind them, that manifest as you, that are convincingly you, but they're not really you. They're not the true you. And I'm reminded by old stories of times gone by where people like Florence Nightingale, you know, were able to tend the sick when there are plagues and famine, and that their support was that they were not afraid, and they were just love, and they were expressing from love. And that is inherently what kept them safe. And so in some way, this virus, wherever it came from and however it came to be, whether it's real or whether it's not real, whatever you believe, that somehow there is a teaching here for us. There's a possibility for us to transcend and transform and embody, integrate what's afraid, to be there in love for whatever parts of you are afraid, and to find this resource of your true self, you know, to make contact and connection with that. And through that is to find the courage and to transform what's up for transformation. Because there is a big collective awakening arising right now as we move from the Piscean age of duality and splits to the Aquarian age of unity and oneness. I also want to invite you, and at this point in time, rather than to get polarized by fear into all these different stories, is to take more time to take the breath, to feel the breath, to stabilize your system into a rest and repair mode, to take advantage of the opportunity of not running around doing life in the normal way, but just to really take this opportunity to meet your experience and to invite yourself into the deepest connection with your soul and feel what your soul wants to create here on planet Earth. I want you to think big and feel big and dream big, because there is a big possibility, something unprecedented that we haven't lived in, that's been shaping for years, that wants to be expressed. And this can be completely outside the matrix, where we are unlimited by beliefs, we're unlimited by issues of finances and money, we are unlimited by doing jobs that we don't like, we are unlimited by compromising who we really are to fit in, you know, to belong to some sort of dysfunctional system that's not serving us, that we've compromised ourselves to stay safe and to be loved and to belong is no longer required. What would the world look like if you could really be yourself? And to reclaim this divine humanity, this blueprint that we've lost touch with, this blueprint that's been modified by trauma and time, based on survival. It's time not just to survive, but to thrive. And to thrive, we have to have a big dream. And in my big dream, we're living in a co-creative way. We are really understanding who we are as nature, as life itself, and we are not harming the earth and the planet, that we are co-creative in this beautiful garden, and that the earth supports our health and we support the health of the earth. And that we also are here to share our unique gift, our unique expression, and to enable others to share their unique expression. And that we can only find strength by doing this together. It is not about being alone, you know, and being separate. So I invite you to really drop all the little dreams that you've had, which are based on escaping and surviving. And I invite you to take this time as you connect in and find your power and find that resource of your true self to think and dream a big dream. Blessings for your journey.